got a question for all you out there. If you have, let's say, a not so good customer service interaction with any company or whatever, and then you say, oh, I'm going to make a rant video about you on YouTube and possibly Facebook, Instagram, all kind of social media about the bad experience. Do you think, what do you think the response would be from the company? Go ahead and do it, or don't really badmouth us on social media? What do you think? Hello everybody, welcome to another video of the VoteCheck experience, where idiots are us, usually me. Yeah, in this video, it's time for another rant video. And let me tell you, I am not happy about this, what happened. I don't know if anybody is too familiar with this, but Comcast and Xfinity, they do mobile service now. They have their own cell phone division. It's something they started, about a little over a year ago, maybe, somewhere around in there. And as you know from a previous rant video, that I'll put the link to that video in the description, so you can watch it in case you haven't watched it. I had a not so good incident yesterday. Now, I'm gonna have to give you a little bit of a backstory on this, just a little bit, because just so you can understand a few things that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, about a year ago, my wife and I and my mother were like, yeah, we're tired of these other carriers. They're, costing all this money and all this other stuff. And we just got tired of some stuff going on. And since I had already had Xfinity services for over a year prior to that, and I knew that they had started their mobile part of their thing, I was like, let's try Xfinity Mobile. So I'm not going to get into the nuances and how that all got to be when we signed up, but we signed up a year ago. And of course, with most cell phone carriers these days, when you get a phone, you pay monthly on the phone, and usually when you pay off half of your device, you're eligible for an upgrade. Well, we paid off half of our devices, and we were eligible for an upgrade. The only thing, though, even though my mother's eligible for an upgrade, she can't get an upgrade just yet because she was having issues with her previous phone, and the screen was getting all weird, so we had to get her a warranty replacement. So I was waiting to get a label to ship her old phone back after we got her new one and activated it. Now, and that's another thing in its own. I mean, I've been trying to send her phone back for like a week, but every time I try to click on the link in my email to get that return label to print it out to send it, it wouldn't take me anywhere except for FedEx's website. So anyhow, and I was calling almost every day, talking to different people, trying to get them to send me the correct link so I can do this. But anyway, that's beside the point there. At least for the moment. But like me and my wife, we were thinking, oh, okay, we're both off on Wednesday. Let's head to the Xfinity store, which is actually an hour away from where we live. It's in State College, PA is the closest store to us, and that's, like I said, about an hour away. So, you know, we had to plan. And days prior to this, I had contacted their customer service through their 800 number, asking them a whole bunch of questions so I knew what to do when we got there for our upgrade, so I wasn't caught off guard with anything. And with that being said, all the people I talked to, because I talked to at least 3 or 4 people, because I kept having questions after I hung up from them. I'm like, oh, God, I forgot to ask that question. So I called back and, researched it all and everything. So I knew what all we needed, which was just to go to the store, bring our old phones, and then, would be able to get our upgrade. So me and my wife got up yesterday morning really, really early, like really early, because, like I said, it takes an hour to get there, and we had an appointment at 10:30 in the morning, so, like I said, we had to leave early. So we get in the car, we drive an hour, we find the store, we go in, we got there a half hour early, and luckily they took us early. We didn't have to wait, which was good there. But then once it started getting into the nitty gritty of them getting ready to process our upgrades and everything, the guy told me, hey, guess what? I can't do anything because our system is down. And I'm like, oh, like, is it going to be soon when it comes back on? Or what's going on? And, he was like, we don't know when it's going to come back on, but, we'll keep checking. And I explained to them, I'm like, it's a little disappointing. We drove an hour to get here. We can only wait so long because my wife had a hair appointment yesterday, too, at her hairdresser at 1 o'clock. So we had to leave at a certain time. So we left after waiting for a little bit, and it wasn't turning back on. And so I was a little mad, but, I kind of understand, sometimes things happen like that, So I was mad, but I wasn't too mad. I was just more or less like kind of disappointed because we drove out there an hour, and now here we go. We got to turn around and go back so she can get her hair done. And the guy that was trying to help us, he's like, give me your phone number and I'll call you if the system comes back up and running. I'm like, okay, whatever, So we leave, and as we're driving, I decide, like, hey, why don't I just call customer service again to see what they have to say? And I talked to this guy, and I told him, like, what happened. And he's like, well, there's no way we can determine when it's going to be back up and running or anything. We have no control over that. I can't see anything. I know nothing about what's going on with the system. I'm like, okay, whatever, So I was a little upset about that, but sometimes I also know that if you call, you get one person, they tell you one thing. You call back a little bit later, get somebody else, and they tell you another thing. So what I did was I hung up from him. We got to my wife's hair appointment, and while she was getting her hair done, I didn't want to call them again, and start talking and, being rude, inside the waiting room. But they also have a chat feature on their thing, so like you can chat to them if you don't want to call them. So I did that. I chatted with this other guy who told me that yes, indeed, he could find out how long the outage was going to take. What they're saying, and I'm like, why this other guy couldn't tell me that, but whatever. So we did. I asked him. He got the information for me. He said the system will be back up and running at 4 o'clock. I'm like, okay, are you sure? Because if I take another hour trip out there, it better be working at 4 o'clock like the system's saying it's going to be. And he's like, oh, don't worry. Yeah, it's going to be working. I promise. I'll even set you up with a new appointment for 4:15. I'm like, okay. I'm like, just so you know, if I get there and it's not working, I'm not going to be happy. So we ended the chat and everything. There goes my watch again. Anyway, so after our hair appointment and everything, we got back in the car and drove on back to State College. Another hour. We got there. Ended up with the same guy. And he's, doing his little thing on his keyboard. Not really telling us what he's doing, but he's just like, for like, I don't know, a long time. But then he eventually says, wait a minute. Yeah, the system is still being kind of funky, but are you processing a return, a warranty return? I was like, yeah, why? He's like, well, I could see that, it hasn't been processed back at the warehouse. And I was like, well, yeah, that's because I've been trying to send it back for like a week and I can't seem to get a label. Every time they send me a label, it's like, it's not the label. And he's like, okay, let me see something. And he types a few things. And then he's like, I just emailed you a label. And I'm like, looking at my phone. No emails coming through. I refresh it. No email. I go into my spam folder thinking, maybe it went there. No email with a label that he said that he sent me. So he's like, okay, let me try this other thing. And he's back to typing. And he's typing. And he's typing. And he's typing. And I'm like standing there like, okay, I've been up early. I'm getting tired. I just want to get this over with, upgrade our phones, and go. Well, after a while, he comes back and he's like, okay, they're creating a label for you. They're going to send it here in a few minutes. And once we get that, I will print out the label for you here at the store. And I'm like, okay, like that would be good. That way I can have a label so I can at least send that, my mother's old phone back. And we're waiting for a while, and then it finally comes through, and get the label and everything. And then this is where he throws a little curve into the thing. So, yeah. He's like, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but because that you still have that phone that's still waiting to be processed when you send it back to the warehouse, yeah, we can't give you any upgrade or anything like that. And I'm like, come again? What? And he was like, yeah. He's like, that's still on there. We can't upgrade you until that's taken care of. And I'm like, uh-huh. And I'm like, and just how long does that take once I send the old one back? And he's like, oh, it could take a week, or it could take 2 weeks, or 3 weeks until, like, it'll be sent back in like 2-3 days. They'll probably get it Monday, but it takes a few weeks for them to process it, look at it, make sure there isn't anything else wrong with it than what you said there was, so that way we can grade it, make sure we don't have to charge you full price for the replacement phone, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you're saying 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm in here now to upgrade my phone, and you're saying I can't do that until this other thing is done. And we have the money now. Like, we have the... Jeez, everybody wants me now. Anyway, we're here now with money to pay you now. You keep talking about, like, oh, you want the commission for us and everything, but you're like, my hands are tied, can't do nothing. And he's still telling me, can't do nothing until that phone goes back. Not to mention my wife wants an iPad, because apparently, I guess she's, even though she's not an Apple fan, she, kind of likes my iPad. And she's like, oh, I want one of those. So, she wanted to add an iPad to, to our account. And he's like, well, we can't even do that We can't add any lines, we can't upgrade anything, we can't do anything until that phone goes back. And I'm like, you realize I just drove another hour out here and you're telling me I have to go and travel another hour back home empty-handed, except for that nice little label you gave me. And he's like, yeah, that's pretty much what, yeah. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of bullcrap. Yeah, I'm a little ticked off right now. Like, I didn't flip out on him or anything at the store, but everybody that was around could tell that I was, getting mad. My face was getting all red, and I was like, So anyhow, there was nothing we could really do. Like, we couldn't get our upgrades or anything, so guess what we did? We got in the car. Well, actually, before we got into the car and went home, I told him, I was like, guess what? I have a YouTube channel, and guess what I'm going to do when I get home? I am going to do a rant video about this experience because I am not a happy camper. And, like I said in that question at the beginning, you would think most places when you say, guess what, I'm going to say some nasty things about the company and all this experience and everything and all this other stuff when I get home, and I'm going to put it on social media for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to see and whatever. Most places were probably like, oh, sir, don't do that. Oh, no, don't give us bad, publicity and bad press and all this other stuff, and we may lose customers. No, this guy was like, you know what? I feel your pain. I know you're mad. Go home. Make that rant video and share it to everybody you know. And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And then, before I even do that, on the way back home, I am calling the 800 customer service line again, and I'm going to really complain about that too, to them. Because I'm not happy, and I want everybody to know I'm not happy because of all the times I called them before we even went to do the upgrade. All those times I called to get all the information, research, guess what? Everybody I talked to said, have fun when you go and upgrade your phone on Wednesday. Everything should be good to go. The phones you want should be in stock. You're good to go. Have fun. Yay! Nobody said anything like, yeah, before you do that, you need to kind of send that other one back. Nobody said that. I mean, in fact, they were all like, also trying to help me get a label. They kept emailing me something, but it just wasn't working. But anyhow, so he's like, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No skin off my back. Go ahead. And I'm like, okay. So, geez, my watch is just dinging, dinging, dinging today. Anyway, so get into the car, going on our journey back home. Another hour. So I called customer service, like I told him I would, and I talked to this guy, explained the whole situation. It took like a while to explain the whole situation because I was mad. I was really mad. He could tell I was mad. He could tell I was mad so much that he gave me some credit on my cell phone bill, which I really appreciated. So we talked a little bit and stuff, and he's like, okay, let me see here. He's like, now, specifically, what lines were you trying to upgrade? And so I told him, I said, I'm trying to upgrade. Jeez Louise. I am not getting my taxes done in TurboTax. No, not what you did to me last time. No. Stop emailing me. That's a whole other story. Anyhow, I'm on the phone with him, and he's like, what specific lines are you trying to upgrade here? I said, I'm trying to upgrade my line, and I'm trying to upgrade my wife's line. So if you look on the thing, my line says Joey's phone, and the other one says Sarah's phone. He's like, okay, so you're not trying to do anything with the line that says Sally's line. I was like, no. I'm not trying to upgrade that one. Because number one, I didn't have her phone with me. Number two, she was at work. And she didn't want to be without a phone all day. Which is understandable. Three, I still had to process that return for her. So, I already kind of knew that I wasn't going to be able to do anything until that phone went back anyway. I was just waiting for a label. And I even told my mother, I was like, yeah, we're going to have to, if we go on Wednesday to do our phones, we'll have to go back another day to do yours once all that hoopla was done. And she's like, okay, whatever. So, he's like, so you're just trying to upgrade just those two lines that don't have any warranty replacements attached to them. I'm like, yeah, just those two lines. And he's like, let me put you on hold. I'm like, okay. So I'm on hold for, about 5 minutes or so. Maybe it was 10. I don't know. I didn't keep track. He gets back on the phone and he's like, so I looked into it and I also talked to my supervisor. And I'm like, okay, I didn't ask you to speak to your supervisor, but okay, if you spoke to I can't talk because this just gets me riled up, this part. So he talked to his supervisor, whatever. And he's like, yeah, how far are you away from that store right now? I was like, well, I'm about 45 minutes away. We're almost home. He's like, I'm guessing there's no chance for you to turn around and go back to that store right now, huh? I was like, unfortunately, no. I was like, we've already been there twice. We spent a whole tank of gas yesterday, going back and forth and all that stuff. I was like, besides, it's almost 6 o'clock. They close at 7. We have somewhere to be at 7, so unfortunately we can't go back. I was like, well, why are you asking? He's like, okay, now here's the kicker. And when he had me on hold, I was thinking, and I even said to Sarah, I was like, watch. He's going to come back and he's going to say, I could have gotten my upgrades regardless. I was like, just watch. And you know what? I was right. And like I said, this is the part that gets me like, because he told me that there is no such rule. Number one, he said that they can't, him and his supervisor went through the policies and it does not say in there that because I have a warranty replacement waiting to be processed on this line over here, that there's no reason why I can't get upgrades on these two lines over here, that they should have processed those upgrades. And there's also no policy or anything saying, oh, you can't add an iPad to your line because there goes the dog again. So anyway, he basically was like, yeah, there's no reason why we couldn't add the iPad to your account too for your wife. And I'm like, So basically what you're telling me is I should have got those upgrades when I was there, either the first time had the system been up and running, or the second time when he said, oh no, you can't get your upgrade because, yeah, you need to send that phone back. So, he's like, yeah, you could have got your phone today. I was like, well, all this driving around for nothing, and he's telling me I could have got my phone. And, so that's when I kind of lost it a little bit. Like, not on the agent I was talking to, but it just kind of was like, what in the name of, like, what's the deal here? And the reason he asked me if I'd go back to the store was because he was going to stay on the phone with me until I went back to the store, and so that he could talk to that person, over the phone, to be like, yo, process his upgrades. And if you don't do it, here's my supervisor, and he will do it. So, but because I couldn't go back. That couldn't happen. So me and this agent worked out a thing that on Sunday morning, because I'm done at 8 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, and so is Sarah. So she's going to come pick me up after work. We're going to get something for breakfast, and we are going back to State College again. Another hour to get there. And be there by 11 o'clock, because he's like, I come in at 11 o'clock. I'm going to call you back. He's like, I have several other people I need to call back to confirm things or whatever, you know, to see if things are working for these other people. But I'll do the same thing for you. I'll call you as soon as I come in at 11. I'll put your number at the top of the list of people to call because I know how upset you are and I know how much money you spent in gas and all that stuff. So he's like, yeah, I am going to call you while you're at the store. And I'm going to talk to these people. And if they don't listen to me, I will put my supervisor on. And he will basically tell them, give this poor gentleman who wasted a whole tank of gas and his whole day driving back and forth to get this. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. I'm thinking that I'll probably do a follow-up video for that. But I know this isn't like a rant as I'm like, like I did before with the other issue I had with the Comcast thing that happened months ago during the summer. Or I did a rant video on something else. Can't think what it is right now. That issue with Taco Bell, which actually, yeah, that never got resolved either. Anyway, so basically what I'm ranting is about is these guys, this guy at the store could have given me my upgrade. And he's saying, no, we can't do that because you have this warranty replacement that needs to be returned first. And then we got this other guy that I'm talking to on the phone. He's like, yeah, he could have done that. So, so you see, kind of see my frustration. That's like, all that time, all that driving, all that gas wasting for no reason. No reason. But I will say the other guy who I talked to, the one that's going to call me back on Sunday, the one that told me that everything would be good on Sunday, he also gave me a credit on my bill, so that's pretty cool. Like, I appreciate, the credit on my bill, believe me, because I know cell phone bills, they can get up there in price, So I do appreciate that, but it's just a fact that I could have gotten my upgrades yesterday, and the store said no, but this other guy I talked to on customer service and his supervisor was like, yeah, like, why didn't they do that? And if they said, or like, if somebody told them that they couldn't do it, why didn't they call us anyway to see what we can do? I was like, yeah, he never called anybody. He just typed at his keyboard. Didn't show me what he was typing. He didn't say what he was typing. I was just going by what he was telling me. So, could he have been lying? Could he have been just, like, not wanting to help? I don't know. But we'll see what happens on Sunday, and I will let you know what happens on Sunday, because I will do a follow-up video of this so you know what happened. So, and let me tell you, though, like, even though I kind of had an issue with Comcast and Xfinity or in the summer with what they were doing in regards to my grandmother and her phone issues and what all I had to go through to get that fixed, with Xfinity Mobile, up until yesterday, I had no issue with them. Anytime I did have, like, some kind of weird thing happen or something that I needed to call them and talk to somebody, they always answer right away. There's the dog barking again. finally stopped barking. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I never had an issue with the mobile. Like I said, anytime I had an issue and I had to call them, I'd call them, they'd handle my issue like that. And everything would be fine. Never had an issue. If something happened on my automatic withdrawal, because my bill gets automatically taken out of my checking account every month, if something happened and I didn't have the right money, I just called like, hey, I will have the money for you, this day. And they'd be like, sounds good to us. And they'll just take the money out then. So it's like, I had no issues. And then all of a sudden yesterday, bam, you can't get your upgrade. Bam, this is why you can't get your upgrade. Bam. I don't know why they told you that, because you can still get your upgrade. Sometimes I think my dog barks just to hear herself bark. So, anyway, so that's what happened yesterday. So, like I said, we'll see what happens on Sunday. I know it's been a day now since this happened, but I'm still frustrated about that. Especially with wasting a whole day and a whole tank of gas. Gas isn't cheap. So anyway, like I said, I will include in the description the link to my other rant videos in case you want to see those. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, don't hesitate to put them in the comments if you want to ask me anything. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'll put the link here so you know. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So, like I always say, idiots are us. But anyway, if you like this video and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know of future videos, and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to share with anybody you want to share this with. Get the word out about my channel. Get the word out that there's some idiot that talks like a girl, which, yeah, there's another video about why my voice is the way it is too. I'll put that link in there as well, in case you're wondering, why my voice is the way it is, and you missed that video. I'll have a link to it. So, I guess that's it for this rant. I guess I'll see you in the next video. And like I said, I'll give you an update on what happens. But until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!